This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Okay, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. Text the show on 8 12 15. Otherwise, we don't have enough material to fill it.
No.
Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. A bit more into the box. And then email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. Full.
Yeah.
Unusual
Simple
way
as that.
to start the Breakfast Radio Show, an appeal for material.
Well, what I find is that when we do a pre-record, I like it because you guys are there, but I really miss the outside voice coming in.
The Vox Populi.
Yeah, it's like when I was a kid and Mrs. Weston used to come round from next door and sit in our house for a couple of hours chatting. It's like that. With
I
her
see myself
strange,
as a...
zany ideas about the world. Oh, she was zany.
I'm glad you said zany. Remember the man I briefly dated, and I'm afraid it didn't last because he said, he was describing my sister and he said, your sister, she's really zany.
Oh, no.
And I'm afraid that was it.
I'm afraid I have to
Zany.
say on the news that preceded this show, the woman said Celsius on the weather.
You're kidding.
No?
Celsius.
Celsius, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe she's right and everyone else is
I
right.
like Celsius. That would be a good name. That sounds like one of Caecilius's children.
I once finished with someone because they described Nick Hornby's fever pitch as a novel. I'm afraid it's non-fiction. I didn't say that right, that's it, but I felt like a
blow.
Water. Is it like water leaking into a sinking ship of doubt and disappointment, frustration, rage,
a listing.
becoming rage?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's what I used to call the flash frames. You're with someone, you think this could go really well, and they say something, and you just think, oh.
There's a young people term.
What is
that?
that?
The ick.
Oh, the ick.
Oh, I've never heard of that. How do you spell ick?
ICK.
Okay. And that means when someone says something and you think we can never be together.
It's-
Just
to
in a
be
moment,
fair,
you go, "Mugh."
in the Love
Yeah.
Island context, it's really based on what one says.
Yes, no one on
It
Love
tends
Island.
to be based on something like, oh, I don't like the way he's done his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not about novels in Love Island.
They
Not
rarely
yet.
fall
No,
out
it's,
over
it's finding,
Chekhov.
it's discovering further territory of the person. Is it physical
Yeah,
territory?
I think so.
Is it physical territory based? Is that what you're saying? Is it like war? Maybe not. Is it like that?
The ick is bad, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? When you get the ick, Frank, there's no going back.
Instant
I have
horror.
gone back. I think when Kath, my life partner, now 22 years together, very early on didn't know who George Galloway was, and I got the ick. I forgave. That's what I did. Not enough of that around now.
I think that's more than forgivable.
Yeah, what a way to go. For not knowing who George Galloway was.
Did you sort of consult with yourself and think, in a way, it would be better if none of us knew who George Galloway was?
You know me, I'm not judgy, but
Not Georgie.
if you was dating now and dumping people because they didn't know who George Galloway was, it would be a very short-term
Do
relationship.
you remember Frank used to have another sort of... Do you remember that, Frank? You would make
Laurel and
them-
Hardy?
Yeah. Do you want
Yes.
to explain to Pierre?
You know that commencing dancing routine that Laurel and Hardy do when they dance in the centre of a Wild West
Commencing
town? I used to show that
Yes,
to
yeah.
women early on, and if they didn't laugh, I thought, no, you cannot.
He'd actually say to us, I showed them the... I put the
Yeah.
Laurel and Hardy
Put the
on.
Laurel
We'd
and
say,
Hardy on.
how was it? And we'd all be stiff with stress.
He has
You say no.
fast-tracking the ick.
Oh, fast-tracking the ick through
Yeah,
Laurel and
exactly.
Hardy.
Actually opening the doors and calling the ick in.
Like
Well,
a
it
sort of
was
sniffer
so-
dog.
Yeah.
It was so well known amongst our friendship group that sometimes Jane and Jonathan, our mutual friends, would say, well, I don't know. Has she seen the Laurel and Hardy video yet? I don't know
I
if
used
it's
to
going to
play
last.
it in quite early.
So you had a sort of Princess and the Pea thing of like,
If you don't laugh at that, there's something wrong with your deeper soul area. Yeah. So I'd play it early, often, sometimes even the second cigarette of the evening, we'd watch that.
Those lucky women.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Most of them escaped. I didn't work with Kat. Kat hates Laurel and Hardy. She's broken all the rules.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We've already had an ick from the outside world.
Oh, good. I think all icks come from the outside world.
None from within.
Well, let's see what this one does.
208 says, Frank, full stop. Which is quite a
Yeah.
attention-grabbing way to begin. I once split with a girl as we were out one night, and Outcast's Hey Ya came on, and she said, shake it like a Polaroid teacher, instead of picture.
Oh.
I turned to my friend and said, I can't do this anymore.
That is a bit. Even by my that is
From
hard.
John and Volker.
I can't.
It's fabulously dramatic, isn't it?
Does it make any difference if you shake a Polaroid picture?
Apparently it makes it worse.
Oh, does it?
Slightly shakes the ink around a bit. You've got to leave it.
Okay. Good to know.
Health and safety that Outcast would rather we not know. Ruining all of our
They're a
pictures.
bit like that. I find them very duplicitous.
Yeah, they're always up to something.
That's why they're Outcast.
Good hair straighteners, though. Fabulous trilby work.
But Emily was making the point that icks are conditional. Am I right?
I find with the ick, one only ever really gets the ick with someone one is not destined to be with. I feel when the person is right, those things cease to annoy you. So you might have got the ick with someone over not getting the Laurel and Hardy, and yet Kath will get a free pass for that because she is your soulmate. Okay?
Yeah. Do you believe in soulmates?
No.
Okay.
I believe she is the person. I'm very happy you're with her, though.
Well,
Okay? Thank you.
yes. The soulmate thing. I'm very happy I'm with it. Don't get me wrong. The soulmate. I think there's probably in Britain, Great Britain. I think let's say Pierre Novelli probably has, and he's a high bar. I'd say there's probably
He's a high bar.
Yeah. Just in terms of height.
180,000 people who would qualify as his soulmate
Okay.
What about in Northern Ireland?
in Northern Ireland.
You said in Great Britain, but if we had Northern Ireland, maybe another 100.
He's confined to
Another four.
Another 4.
a slightly Nigel Farage approach to dating in Great Britain.
Oh God! There
Only
goes,
date on-
there goes my bank account.
I'll only date on the mainland.
Can I
That's
say
my
that?
view.
I think I'd only date on the mainland though. It's otherwise, God, I don't want to be rowing to a date.
Oh no.
Oh no!
commute.
Oh no! No, I don't want to do that. It's an interesting thing, though, because your suggestion is it's like when, let's say, a Sky Sports presenter was to say something that was a bit off colour. If he was one of the more popular, successful ones, he'd do a big apology and then be forgiven and warned not to do it again. And if they were trying to get rid of him anyway,
Yes.
he'd be out. So it's a bit like that. If you're trying to get rid of him anyway,
That's true.
you might not even know you are, but you know.
Subconsciously, you're manifesting icks.
Yeah, you're looking for icks. You're on ick search, ick watch. I think Chris Packham would do. I bet Chris Packham has got a strict ick agenda.
Oh, he has got a lot, yeah.
Oh, man.
You can't get through that door easily.
Yeah.
He's got a big ick list.
If you run over a cat and said, well, plenty more cats around, that'd be it. That'd be it with Packham. I wouldn't do that, by the way.
Yeah.
I once run over a rabbit, accidentally, obviously, and
Is this an episode of Would I Lie to You?
now, honestly, I couldn't get it. I couldn't shrug it off for about 2 weeks. I could hear the noise. Really
Oh,
upset
so
me.
Frank, that's
Really
distressing.
upset me.
Yeah, and it's upsetting us.
Sorry, these
Why
people,
tell us?
these people who eat a fully grown stallion. I don't know how they ever get over it.
I've never met those people.
They drive under it, mainly, I think.
No, I drive one of those, those super trucks you see on obscure channels. I drive one of those. No horse. I'm not going under any horse, and there's no horse getting under me.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking at the beginning, and I said, I'll ask the readers that because they'll know the answer. What was it I was going to ask?
Sorry, I'm a lady.
Oh, yes. Emily used the word lady, and I said, sorry, I'm a lady. Sorry, I'm a lady, which was a song, a pop song. And I can't remember who the singer was, but more importantly, I can't remember why she was sorry that she was a lady. If anyone can help me with that.
It sounds like she was being slightly sarcastic. Mate. Was it a lady sing?
We don't have the information to make a character assassination like that. Dark sarcasm in the dance floors.
Dark sarcasm in the classroom, as Pink Floyd would have put it. Frank, may I share this with you? I will, from Samuel Robbins.
I can say she's passing me a massive spliff as we speak.
Oh, my goodness me. Algernon.
She isn't.
Algernon. Sam Robbins from Southend. There's been a sighting, and it's of one of the three of us. Okay. I'll continue. Morning, Frank, Emily and Pierre. Last weekend, my partner, our 2-year-old daughter and I were trudging our way through the streets of Shoreditch on our way to a meal when a car pulled up beside me.
Right.
Who should emerge from this car but none other than Mr. Frank Skinner?
Okay.
Or, as they've said, to use the rock band introductory vernacular, Mr. Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
And in the car...
Mr.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I must say, this made the horrendously exhausting experience of taking a toddler to central London all worthwhile. I stopped to give Frank a brief hello and continued onward in a much better mood.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
So thanks, Frank. What I like is it's got something of the flavour of the Peep's Diary, and continued onward.
Yes.
But Sam from Southend...
And also, someone raised by that sort of old, there's always someone worse off.
Yes.
Theory.
Well,
when you see an old guy get out of a car, obviously doesn't know where he is.
Sam's from Southend's postscript, I enjoyed enormously. I did find it noteworthy, Sam continues, that almost the instant that Frank got out of the car, he stopped to ask someone for directions.
That's my life.
I was slightly disappointed that he didn't use the FaceTime Kath and hold his phone in the air method of the past, a.k.a. Kathnav.
Well, I've done that many times.
Where were you going? What were you doing?
Well, that was it. Where was I going? I was trying to get from two of my friends recently got MAs in fine art, and they had their, your degree show. So I went to that at the Truman Brewery.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar.
Which is in...
yes, it's in the East London area.
It's in somewhere in the East. I don't know.
Sort of Shoreditch, Hoxton, yeah.
One of those. They all, they're all a bit, the Lord above gave it all before you. And then I had to get to a gig at the Moth Club in Hackney. I know this is really interesting, but I had no idea. I literally walked out with about 40 minutes to the gig.
It's around the
I didn't know
corner.
what bus I had to get.
Oh.
Very trendy East London day for you, though.
It was very trendy.
You should have got an ironic sailor tattoo.
I was certainly the least fashionable person on the streets. It's true. People gave me quite a lot of loose change.
Oh.
But
some collectible coins.
In the end, I just got on a bus and thought, if this is going the wrong way, then
So be it.
Then all is lost.
It's so exciting. It's your version of the film Speed.
Yeah, so I got on the bus and I got my Google Maps and just thought, just to see if it was generally going in the right direction.
Let's see where the dot
How
goes.
was it? I think I would like to. I think you should trail this. It's so exciting.
I've started doing it in black cabs now, of getting and watching the route on Google Map to make sure I'm not being over charged.
That's a lovely way to live.
Yeah, I think if they see the glow of Google Maps on your face in their rearview mirror, they might think twice
They
about going the circular route.
Ofsted's in.
Yeah.
What happened with the bus, Minister?
You know what? I got lucky. Yeah, when I realised that we were actually heading in that direction, man, that was exciting. It was how Roald Amundsen must have felt when he knew that the pole was near. You noticed I just said pole because I wasn't quite sure whether it was N or S.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Listen, I was watching it was on a recording, but I go to recordings more and more now as television goes into decline. And I was watching a Channel 4 show about most popular toys.
Oh, yeah.
What? Just briefly, what would be your guess? Biggest selling toy of the last, 40 years or so?
Oh, selling. Is Lego available? It's just a generic answer.
Yeah, Lego is a bit. Apparently, Lego was having hard times according to this program until it bought into the Star Wars.
Really?
Thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll tell you because I
I
didn't
didn't guess.
I know.
Please. Okay.
But I'm just worried about people at home saying this is stasis.
Okay.
I don't want them to say that. You can have a quick guess.
No.
Okay. It was Rubik's Cube.
Really?
I know, that's what I thought.
Novelty.
Oh, I thought it might be like a fun thing.
I thought it would be Barbie or something.
Yeah.
And they sold 340 million Rubik's Cubes.
Really?
I wish there was a figure to say how many of those were ever completed.
Yeah.
Oh, less than 1%, surely.
Do you think that low? I hope so.
If they were mixed up.
I think there's no joy for me in a toy like that.
I think it's because a Rubik's Cube is also a sort of paperweight or decorative item, more so than an
It's
action
a
man.
rubbish paper.
Also, the word toy
good
is doing
God.
some pretty heavy lifting.
Yes.
Here. Toy? Au
Toy.
contraire.
I'd say it's multicoloured and
It's
plastic.
awful. First time I got it, I went straight in, took all the stickers off, and just stuck them on.
You did that. You did that thing.
My father had views on that.
Isn't that a bit like going on your mobile phone in a pub quiz?
Yeah. It was terrible.
Outrageous.
I think it's like The Brief History of Time. Remember that Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking?
Yes.
That was...
And other Peter Kay routines that got cut.
Why is that?
Remember Brief History of Time?
Think about that brief history.
I saw a copy of that in a skip, and the wind was blowing
So
the
it says a lot about
pages.
where you live now.
And it was blowing the pages, and when you got to page 50 onwards, it's completely blank.
Oh, God.
Knowing that no one would ever get that far.
Hawking's wager.
It's true, though. It's that blurring of fun and hard work, like
Yeah.
chess. I mean, for God's sake, chess. I mean, it's a job. That's like a really hard job. It's what relaxation. Even Monopoly for me.
Yeah. Running a
That
small
is a
business.
massive blurring of
What
fun.
exactly? They were just playing estate agents. Who wants to do that?
Yeah,
They
but
don't even want to do it. They
but
did it because they couldn't do
It's
other
work.
things.
It is. It's actually doing someone else's... Or eating unfilleted fish.
Yes, yes.
Oh, my God. How much time have people
A
got?
little project.
Yeah.
Did you know the original version of Monopoly was devised as a satire? It's not supposed to be a good game.
No.
It's supposed to be horrible.
Oh, is
It's
it?
anti-capitalist.
Well,
isn't it?
that worked, I think. I would say it's my least favourite game, with obviously Rubik's Cube not in there because it's not a game or a toy in any way. It's science. And it's maths and all the worst things in
What
the
about
world in a
Operation?
cube. Operation, I don't mind that.
That's because you're not a doctor. Imagine how they feel.
No, I think it's the
Surgeon.
joy of in the 80s. I couldn't even, my hands were shaking that much, I couldn't even hold the thing, let alone not set the buzzer off.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've heard from everyone on Earth, I think,
Okay.
in answer to your question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a lady.
Didn't William the Conqueror say that in 1067? When the Doomsday Book was handed in. Go on.
We've just had this in from everyone in the country.
Okay.
Baccarat saying, sorry, I'm a lady.
Yeah, but why? The question was, why was she sorry in the context of the song?
Well, we also have that information.
But well done on Baccarat. Not Burt Baccarat, by the way. This is a different person.
825 claims.
She's sorry. You explain.
They claim
Your witness.
she's sorry she's a lady because she's seen a man she's taken a shine to, and she wishes she was less of a lady and a bit naughtier.
Oh, so she could be the one who asks him out. This was written at a time when conventionally
Yes.
men would do all the running in a new relationship beginning.
Which those days were back, eh?
Aye.
And then Nasher of Bedford, or as he calls it, off of Bedford, which immediately makes me, when he's one of our regulars, Nasher of old, 660 confirms this. It was sung by Baccarat. She's apologising for being a lady, as in being ladylike as opposed to being forward. She's seen a bloke she fancies, but doesn't feel able to chat him up.
I remember my manager not long after I joined my management group, when I was still appreciated. And
You are appreciated, Frank.
and he took me out.
Come on.
He took me out for a meal, and he asked the waiter to bring me the ladies' menu.
Oh, so you wouldn't see the prices.
No, there was just loads of women in. You could choose. No, there wasn't.
What
no,
are you doing?
There was no prices in it, because the idea of bloke could take a woman out and he didn't want her to be hampered by, or of course seek out the highest prices whether she liked that food or not.
Dual use.
Yeah, so so that night I was glad I was a lady, because it meant I wasn't paid.
Well, that's quite classy. I like that.
Yeah, I bet you can't get a ladies' menu anymore.
And Lord knows I've tried.
I think I had to drink out of a lady's glass as well to combine the two.
Okay.
Once you're in the role, that's what I find.
You roll with it.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. Text the show on 81215. Please. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Okay.
Let me do a very quick, I don't know if you remember, but some time ago, long time ago in Bethlehem, saw the Holy Bible. Anyway,
Okay.
Dear Frank Skinner MBE, please see included in this package a 4-slider pen. You know I'm a massive fan of the 4-slider pen. With an innovative pencil attachment. As you can see from this fine piece of writer's engineering, the structural integrity of the sellotape adds a certain je ne sais quoi about this function over form design. And that was from Russell Croucher, open brackets, non-MBE. And what he sent me is one of those pens with the 4 colours, with a pencil sellotaped to it. And I have to say, I've used it extensively.
Really?
This really works really well.
Is the pencil sellotaped facing the other way? So you flip it over?
Yes, it is, which is good thinking, because you don't want it to be trying to write with pencil and the ballpoint's trying to get in on the act.
Accidentally creating a sort of shadow.
No, you
I
don't
don't
want
like
that.
a pushy ballpoint.
No. As much as I love those multicoloured things, you can get one with a pencil, which I discovered you have to sacrifice the green, which I think is the current political mood since the by-elections. But with this in Russell, is it Russell? Yeah, in Russell's Russell Croucher's method, you get the green and the pencil.
Fabulous hybrid celebrity name,
future.
Russell Croucher.
Do you think?
Hybrid celebrity name.
Why?
It just sounds like it's a hybrid of so many celebrities. Russell Croucher.
I can't think of a Croucher.
Peter.
Well, I mean, not by name.
Oh, Peter. There's only one Crouch.
Oh, I
Peter.
see, yes.
Now, listen to this, Frank. MJM has got in touch with us. And And it's on the theme of, you were talking about Monopoly.
Is it Metro Goldwyn Mayer?
No, it's MJM, EMJAYEM. Okay?
I don't know what that means.
The name M,
Yeah.
but they've, as in at the beginning of my name, but they've spelt it using the letter MJM. Okay? That's what that means. Do you understand that, Pierre?
I don't understand that at all. I've never
what's
been
to
more
understand?
confused. I honestly,
Pierre,
if
can you
just
understand this? Okay. The letters M, are you familiar with the letters M, J and M?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the name M, EM?
Yes.
Yes, EMJEM.
This is like who's on first.
I don't think it really matters that
No,
much,
I don't.
okay?
I don't. I'm glad it doesn't matter.
Okay. Can I move on from
Yes,
this? Am I allowed?
please,
Thank
please.
you.
I just get this bit of blood that's come out of my ears.
Right, you're still talking about it.
Okay.
Twister isn't a game, it's yoga. How dare they blindside me with colourful circles to trick me into stretching?
That's true. Well, that is, as I was saying, it's
Yep.
the blurring the line
Blow the lines.
between play and hard work. And yeah, it is. And also, things can go wrong, I think, with Twister. I think Twister's finished.
I
Yes.
played Twister, Frank, as you may recall. Do you remember who I played it with?
Was it Leo McKern who played Rompole in Rompole of the Bailey?
We didn't play Twister.
Okay.
Do you remember the former, no longer with us sadly, host of Countdown? The original host.
Bob Holness.
No, it was called Richard
Whiteley.
Whiteley, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Bob
played
Holness was whatever the other thing was called.
Blockbusters.
Yes.
I played a game of Twister with him.
Was it Richard
you?
Whiteley?
Others were present.
Yeah.
And he had little red socks.
On his feet.
Nothing else? That's terrible.
That's gamesmanship.
Yeah, that is. Also, when he went on the red circles, it was really unsettling because just sort of like his legs ended abruptly. Yeah, he had his tactics.
He had very delicate little feet, I remember. It was a bit like a sort of a whippet in socks.
Were they completely enclosed within the circle?
They were.
He did a chat
There was
show.
no overspill, Frank.
He did a chat show in Edinburgh in which the guests were kept from him.
Oh.
And he literally used to say, "Who are you? What do you do?"
I see.
So it was like the questioning you normally get on a chat show, but look, it started about 4 or 5 stages earlier than it normally does.
With a really sincere edge to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are
It
you
was
here?
Yeah, it's more like someone had turned up at his front door than on his chat show.
Someone had turned on a lamp as he arrived home.
Exactly. It was like that. I'll bet that often happened to him.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I also heard from Stephen the Night Porter,
Oh, yeah.
who, hi Frank, some praise, which I'm holding back. I heard you talking t'other week about chessboard pictures on football stadium pitches. You remember that? Do they still cut it like that? And apparently they don't. My theory is that it might interfere with VAR's judgments. So I thought I would send you my chess overs calendar. Chess overs are generally chessboard portraits, but a few shapes thrown in. All the best. And he sent me one of those, and it's a chessboard with a face emerging from it.
Right.
Do you like it?
I've done a yes.
Why did you answer like a Doctor Who villain?
I was just thinking of the phrase hospital pass. I have done a man versus horse design, and I've actually already got those on my radiator because they're like magnetic and they're based on the Lewis Chessman. So
Lovely.
thanks, Stephen the Night Porter. Do you think he really is a night porter? Wasn't that a strange film called The Night Porter with Bogart?
Yes.
I have an image of a pretty lady in a Nazi hat. It's nothing to do with the film.
Sorry,
It
I'm-
lingers.
I
It
bet-
lingers in my consciousness.
One of your other calendars.
Did she say?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Alan in Malvern,
Malvern, yes, lovely.
This is a rather lovely missive, Frank. Morning, Frank and friends. Oh, I like Frank and friends.
Frank and friends.
Can you, I enjoy this story enormously. 26 years ago, I married my beautiful wife, Martine.
What happened? Is he going to say what happened?
No.
Oh, okay.
We honeymooned at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. Whilst there, we watched an up-and-coming young comic called Pierre. No, not called Pierre. Called Frank Skinner. So, as a surprise for our anniversary, I've booked a few days up there and purchased tickets for the same comedian whose career seems to have rocketed.
Well, that is lovely, but 26 years ago, so that was 1997. I don't think I was up and coming in 1997. I was... I was
arrived.
Hot to trot. Number one records. But anyway, thanks. It'd be good to see you.
Yeah.
Frank's going to finding the fault in praise since 1997.
That's why I redact praise, because it's never perfect.
Isn't that lovely, though, Frank?
It is nice, and yes, that is. To be serious for a moment, no, I'm still a bit resentful about the up and coming. couldn't spit it out.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Ruth Jordan,
Yes.
would a jigsaw puzzle count among Frank's list of fun things that are actually just hard work? That question to Frank Skinner.
Yes. And the worst of all ones are, you actually see those ones that are all white.
Oh, that's just silly.
As Michael Barrymore used to say. All white. I mean, that is just making something to be unpleasant in your life.
As difficult as possible.
Yeah, but no satisfaction at the end of it. I remember I made a West Bromwich Albion team shot jigsaw and then had it framed. Lovely. And one of the pieces, I don't know how this happened, sort of fell out and slid down the back of the picture. And in fact, it was brilliant because it really hammered home that it was a jigsaw.
Oh, it's sort of real and not...
that it had a piece missing. Yeah, it's almost like, the Islamic carpet designers who usually put a deliberate fault in.
The deliberate flaw.
Yeah, it was like that.
I love that. I've got 1,000. I only do 1,000 pieces. You know, I'm a jigsaw fanatic these days.
Oh, are you?
Yep.
What sort of pictures are you doing?
I'm very into dog breeds, obviously.
Okay. And are you still rectangular, or have you moved into the circular world?
I don't like the circular world.
Circular?
You get circular ones.
There's been some innovation in the jigsaw community of which I was unaware.
I think Mr. Spot used to do 3D jigsaws, didn't he?
I did films of Tim Burton one recently.
Did you really?
Oh, I researched them heavily.
God, but you'd have so many pieces that have got Helena Bonham Carter on them.
It could be any.
How do you know which one is she's in?
Yeah, you'd say...
Shakespeare's World.
Oh.
I go quite Waitrose with my jigsaws.
What do you do with them when they're done?
There's a lot of I've got a spear, the tip of a spear I'm looking for, and a blue pointy hat.
Yeah.
Well, I keep them up for 3 days.
Oh.
If they're on the kitchen table.
Okay.
I keep them intact for 3 days.
Okay.
And
I wonder if you might photograph them the way people...
I do photograph them, Frank.
Fair enough.
I was keeping that to myself. I was a little ashamed.
No. I think that's a good thing to do.
Would you do a jigsaw with me one day?
No.
Okay.
I've always...
Even if it was a Doctor Who one?
Maybe I would.
Okay.
I've always thought that... people talk about how faith is dying out in modern Britain and Northern Ireland. Actually, less there, to be fair. But
yes.
I think anyone who buys a jigsaw from a charity shop is showing faith above the Pilgrim Fathers. To believe that all those pieces are going to be there. I mean, and to commit, to go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe spend hours on it and then find there's one missing at least.
You're missing a crucial scraggly tree piece from your Tim Burton picture.
That would be a good way to break up with someone, though. Send them the jigsaw. They have to put it together to find out and have a little message. You could make a bespoke one.
Oh, God, that's one of the... So they had to go through the hard work of putting together their dumping message.
Make it a 500-piecer. Be kind.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing thousands at the moment?
Yeah, thousands.
Respect. Open brackets, question mark, close brackets.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Chaz Cook has some advisory jigsaws. We won't talk about...
Chaz Cook, who used to play on the wing for Chelsea.
Could be.
I don't know.
Okay.
When putting a completed jigsaw back in the box, one should always put the edge pieces in a separate plastic bag, thus reducing the factor when attempting for a second time.
No.
Second time.
I think Chaz is missing the whole point.
Are we going back and redoing jigsaws?
Why not?
I suppose.
Oh, at my age, I could do it the next day. It'd be equally a challenge. No, that's cheating, isn't it? Putting the straight ones in a separate thing. When I did a jigsaw, this is fascinating stuff. I used to build the frame first. Finish off all the straight bits. How about that?
We've also had Frank and team. One of my chores for today is to sort. They said the lies of jigsaws. I don't know if they. Perhaps that's.
I think that'd be a good title for a novel.
The Lies of Jigsaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I'd buy that in an airport W.H. Smith's.
Me too.
Sure.
My dad was once asked to think of what would be the dream title for a novel, and he said "No Sand on the Beach." I think someone might have stolen that subsequently. I'm
I
afraid.
don't know. I saw a woman out running this morning, which is a common enough occurrence, and she was in sandals rather than trainers.
No.
Yeah.
You can't run in sandals.
I thought at first she was being pursued, but she was in sportswear. You know, I know everyone's in sportswear, but she seemed to be running, not just running
sandals.
for. I know, yeah. I know.
Listen,
Tell me about. I know. I told you about it.
this correspondent continues. Like Emily, I only do 1,000-piece ones. It's obviously a bit of a thing in our
Bit of a
community.
ceiling. Yeah.
Unlike Emily, I keep them whole once completed for only about 3 minutes. I can't be sitting around gazing on it. Straight into a freezer bag and back in the box.
Wow.
Freezer fresh.
Do you take them to charity shops or do you just keep them? No, you keep them.
I'm afraid I keep them.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to throw it out there. I like my children.
It's a bit like relationships, isn't it? You build them and then you tear them apart and then you just put them in a sort of memory box. Yeah.
Once the fun's worn off.
Yeah, I like to think that I got beyond 1,000 pieces, certainly in the disassembling.
Put the edgier parts in a separate bag.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Well, this is getting a bit dark. So, let's talk about something else.
Well, I wanted to talk about something else.
Go on then.
But I was just concerned that we wouldn't have enough time because the producer
Well, the
was
producer
waving
waits
headgear.
to moments, like I say, let's talk about something else, and then she'll wave her hands about saying, no, that's it now. It's almost deliberate.
Let's talk about Sesk.
Sesk.
Baby. Yes, that was an Arsenal chant. Were you not familiar with it? Cesc Fabregas, one of our
was
greatest.
it?
Let's talk about Sesk, baby.
It's not easy to chant Sesk.
No.
Is
Well,
it?
that's what they're hoping, the filthy creeps.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what they're like. I want to talk to you about emojis, but it's going to have to wait.
Okay.
Okay.
It gives me a chance to look them up, see what they are. How are you spelling that?
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I mentioned emojis, and I want to get into this. Before I do, just very quickly, I'd like to share this from Pedals, because Pedals, I think,
Okay, step on it.
Oh, okay.
Da.
Hi, friends. Did you know that doing regular jigsaw puzzles extends one's lifespan? I have read this. Whether one would...
It just seems like it.
Yeah, it's all right. Whether one would want to under those circumstances, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, Chaz the cheater, as he's now being called, he who puts the edges into the Plazzy bags, Chaz the cheater should be nowhere near jigsaws with his separation of straight edges. Love,
right.
that's from Steph on an arrow.
All right, come on, don't make me stop the car.
This is the thing with jigsaws. People get into them, they kick off, you get
They have
firms.
their own rules.
Hooliganism.
Yeah.
It'll be the
They're
death.
still more fun than a Rubik's Cube, but what isn't?
That should be a slogan. They could use that, Frank.
So emojis, I'm guessing you refer to the news story this week, which
Yes.
made an emoji a legal
Well,
thing.
specifically the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I thought, oh, I can't wait to discuss this with the boys, because I cannot think of two people less likely to use the thumbs up emoji. I say that because you're very sort of medieval Britain
Yes.
cathedrals. I don't imagine you communicate with each other in that fashion. You're more, so be it.
No,
sire.
although something I did find interesting. I don't know if you saw this, Pierre, but the person who was, I don't think he was a judge, but he was whatever they call the justice of the peace
In Australia.
person. Yeah,
Oh, no, Canada, was it? Yeah.
who dealt with. We should say the case was that a man was wanting to buy flax from a farmer. He sent the contract to the farmer and said, "Is that okay? Then you're going to bring the flax," and he got a thumbs up emoji
From
back.
the farmer.
And the court said that was legally binding,
Yes.
that thumbs up emoji, and so that he had to pay the man for not delivering the flax.
The farmer claimed he just meant a thumbs up as in, oh, yeah, I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at the contract, thumbs up.
Yeah, I gotta say,
What
if
say
I
you?
got that emoji, I'd be anticipating flax.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
You'd
Would
be
you?
getting out the sacks for the flax.
I
You'd be-
would. Everything about that thumbs up emoji said flax imminent. That's probably
Starting with the
someone's
colour.
school motto. Flax imminent.
Flax imminent. Or a sort of futuristic American hero.
No, I'm with the judge. But what the justice said, as you said on the ancient history thing, the judge said, it's difficult because different countries even have different interpretations of what an emoji means. He said what we really need is a sort of emoji version of the Rosetta Stone to define exactly what emojis mean. I thought, that's good.
Yeah.
Justice. J-O-P. J-O-T-P, I suppose. J-O-T-P.
Well, and there's the interpretations. I mean, the sort of what's used in the UK as the prayer hands emoji.
Oh, yes.
It's actually supposed to be high-fiving, two different hands.
Is it?
Is it?
Because they don't pray like that in Japan, with hands together like that. So it's not prayer
I
to
don't
them.
pray that way.
I thought
Sorry, but I don't pray that way.
I thought it was the gnat killing emoji.
What's your worst emoji, Frank?
Well, the one that did one of the first emojis.
I won't tell you what mine is. I think you can guess.
One of there's two I hate, but for very different reasons. I
Yes.
don't like. I'm not sure if I can say this on air. I think I'm all right. The poo emoji.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't like the quiff, the tapered quiff. There's too much of the process in it.
Has it got?
Yes.
I don't like that it's got eyes as well.
I don't like the tapering. We don't need to know about that.
You don't like the sort of Mr. Whippy aspect.
No,
of
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
but they're trying to make it look more attractive.
Well,
Okay.
to me, I start thinking, as I say, of the
Okay.
act.
What else?
The other one is crying with laughter.
No,
Because I got that very early on. One of the first emojis I got, as you can imagine. And now if I send anything funny to anyone and they send back, blah, blah, laughed at this message, you know that message you can get?
Yeah.
Or just as a laughing emoji, I'm pining for the tears. So I think, I peaked too early. So that spoilt me, basically. You're both looking at me as if I've suddenly... You know when people come out of a coma and they speak Chinese?
No,
They
do you know
couldn't
why
speak
we're
it
looking
before.
at you like that? I'm going to predict because we're both thinking, we're mentally reversing, thinking, oh, how many times have I sent him that?
Oh, no, I don't think you guys... Do you send me emojis?
I would never send you an emoji,
No.
darling.
No, thank you, darling.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I
Let's
believe.
get back to Farmer Chris Actor and his
His emoji contract.
non-deliverance of the flax. He lives in a
Toll.
place. He lives in I mean, whereabouts is this? It's in Australia, isn't it?
No, it's in Canada.
In Canada, that's right. I knew it was. He lives in a place, the farmer, called the township is called Swift Current. I mean, that's brilliant,
great.
isn't it?
But it's Australian flax going to Canada, to be clear.
Okay.
Both
Is
nations
it?
are involved.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I thought it was aimed at Australians because it was the Australian newspaper.
I may have told you before that I knew a man, a friend of mine, who was an expert on the place names of Worcestershire.
Oh,
And
How often did you see him?
I saw him on a regular basis. He's a
Really?
very entertaining individual. Cut his own hair. And said to me he hadn't spoken to his wife for 20 years other than to say, like, where's my shirt or
yeah.
goodbye. Anyway, this is enough details about... But he was an expert on this thing. And it's the least romantic activity you could imagine, being an expert on place names. So you'd get a place that was called something like the Devil's Finger. And you'd think, oh, I bet there was some terrible thing that happened here and someone saw this fear. And it was always, and he'd say, no, it's what's happened. It was originally would have been Dervinger, which means muddy track. And they were all like that. Everything was reduced to the most dull geographical feature. But so Swift Current
Yeah.
could be from Swefcare, which means rocky road. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It could be undermined.
That's how you
Yeah.
ordered. That's what they called Rocky Road ice cream. Then
Yeah, that's what they named it.
I've been corrected by Will.
What?
383.
that doesn't happen often, Frank.
It doesn't. Pierre's been corrected.
Says the prayer emoji actually means sorry in Japan, as in bowing, I think.
Oh.
But,
However,
most things mean sorry in
Yes,
Japan.
that's true. However, I strike back at 728, who says, oh, wouldn't it have a thumb on if you're high-fiving? And 728 seems to forget that there is not a thumb on both sides of their hand.
Oh, I see. So it's yes. I understand.
What they've done is they've put their own hands together and looked down and gone, yes, thumbs. Tick.
When I used to do the television panel show, Room 101.
Oh, this is never awkward.
Yeah, it's all right. 7 series. It's okay. Larry
marvellous.
Lamb was on, and he's the senior Lamb, isn't he?
Oh yes,
Yeah, he's
I know both.
The
lambs.
Nazarene?
no,
The young lamb is George.
yeah. So Larry Lamb was
Lovely
on,
boys.
and one of his choices was the high five.
Oh.
He wanted to put in the high five. And we researched the high five. The high five was kicking around like in the 1920s.
Was it?
It was like a jazz thing. We got old black and white footage of people high fiving. Yeah.
Gosh.
So stick that in your emoji pouch.
Well, Andy Wood has traced back.
Do you know Andy Wood?
Thanks for the tip.
Okay.
The first use of the emoji back to 1648. That will be with us. More information.
1648.
Yes.
Blimey. Nearly tea time.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Okay, Pierre, do you want to share this? It feels very much your area.
Facts.
As it's very IB13 summers old, sire. It's Andy Wood has shared this with us.
Okay.
Regarding one of the earliest examples of an emoji.
Yes, he says, way back in 1648, the English poet and Anglican cleric Robert Herrick opened one of his poems with the line, "Tumble me down and I will sit upon my ruins smiling yet, bracket. After the word yet, he added what we all came to know as a smiley by placing a colon representing eyes directly before a parentheses representing the smiling mouth.
That old one. Robert Herrick is Gather Ye Rosebuds While Ye May.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. These two are off again.
And a little rose emoji.
Someone swallowed a dictionary this morning.
Oh, so there's a feeling that he invented the...
Dot smile.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shall we say it took a while to take off, as 1981 seems to be the next time it emerged from Andy Wood, Bronte Country.
When did it
Once
emerge?
again,
In 1981?
Poetry influential right across society. God damn it.
Oh.
Well, listen.
Someone just got an alert, by the way. It'll probably be one of your Doctor Who's.
I don't think I got an alert. I'm not...
It'll probably be something like new sonic screwdriver, 10% off or something.
There is a new sonic screwdriver, but it's sold out day one.
Is this for the new Doctor?
Yeah, for the new...
Does he get a new sonic?
Oh, every new Doctor now gets one.
Do they?
Yeah.
What are his clothes like? Has he got has his outfit been revealed?
I've seen his outfit. It was at
How would you
a
describe
Comic-Con. It's non-controversial. It's pretty basic. It's not like a really remarkable...
Is it a cool suit?
Yeah, I think it's... I'm trying to remember if there's an... He likes a long coat when he was there previously.
Oh, they always love a long coat. What Doctor doesn't love a long coat?
Well, I can name a few if you like.
Very few doctors in tank tops.
The 8th Doctor's costume came about because the office where there a man
Which was the 8th Doctor?
Ricky Gervais?
Paul McGann. He was.
He's not really a doctor, is he?
Yeah. So he was planning. Someone was going to a fancy dress party as Wild Bill Hickok, and he stole his outfit. That's how he got his costume.
Did Christopher Eccleston have a long coat? Was he more leather Chiquito?
He had a leather jacket. It was. I suppose you wouldn't call it long. No, it was. It might have been a bit of a bomb warmer.
Do you like when we talk about Doctor Who? Frank goes a bit adorably coy. Like tread softly.
Christopher Eccleston is Scrooge at the Old Vic this year.
Oh.
Written by my brother-in-law. Script dedicated to moi.
Really?
Yeah. Based on a man who became so embittered and unpleasant by getting money that he hated everyone. Yeah, that was a dedication waiting to happen.
I'd love to see you taken by a ghost to, Christmases past. Why, this is David Padilla's house. I remember the parties.
Oh God, what about when he took me to a Jewish Christmas party and we played that, the hat game they used to call it, where you had to communicate what.
Who am I? Yeah, who am I?
And it was Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
And I gave the best clue she could ever hear to this friend of his, and he didn't get it. And in the end, I called him a very abusive swear name.
You didn't?
I'd been invited, the only non-Jew at the Jewish Christmas party, and his girlfriend started crying. I'd insulted him so badly. Oh, I know. I'm not defending his awful behaviour. And that man was Vladimir Putin. No, it wasn't.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Look, we've lost our way on Mickleborough versus Actor, which is the thumbs up emoji legal dispute.
Yes.
So it was said in court, Your Honour, that they, in the past, arrangements between Mickleborough and Actor, they'd had dealings before. Would often be confirmed contracts with a written yop So they get a text that said "Yop," Y-U-P. It seems to me the thumbs up emoji is not a massive move from that.
From a
Yes.
yup. No, I agree.
They're
I
operating.
hate a yup.
Do you? I mean, if
It really puts me off someone.
Quite passive aggressive, isn't it?
I don't like a thumbs up.
no,
I
No.
I've
never
heard
do.
that.
Well,
I,
What's wrong with you?
I also. What if you received bids from Colonel Tom Thumb, for example,
yes.
and maybe the leading lady of Hans Christian Andersen, Thumbelina, you'd get your thumbs up emoji and assume that they were going to deliver.
Yes.
I bet they didn't consider this in court.
Do you know why I object to the thumbs up emoji?
Why,
The thumb-
darling?
It's me dating the man from Fantasy Island. I tell you why. I don't object. A lot of the Gen Zers find it passive aggressive, apparently.
Do they?
I
Grow
find it,
up.
I find it quite. I find it as passive aggressive as if someone very slowly gave me a thumbs up to my face.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Really? You
Yeah.
find it? Oh.
Yes, your generation don't like it. However, that's not why I object. I don't object on the grounds of my feelings. I object, preposterous reason to object. I object on the grounds of it being very poorly realised aesthetically.
Oh, do you
It
think?
looks. It's terrible. Have you examined forensically that thumbs up emoji? It's one of the worst drawn of all the emojis.
Is it?
It's like an early draft of a Simpsons hand. It's appalling. I
That's
work-
because artists always draw with holding up a pencil in their thumb, so they can't do
They can't do
both things
two
at
in
the
a row.
same.
Yeah.
No, it's impossible.
Oh, that's true.
I just find it tacky.
It's interesting, the passive aggressive, because there was a whole feature about how older people and younger people see these things differently,
Yeah.
see emojis differently, and I don't know. I'm sort of not anti emoji, but the idea that they're so open to interpretation
Well,
that you
quite.
could offend
The red
is a
heart.
bit of a shocker.
Frank, I only discovered recently the red heart emoji.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, that's a big statement. If you send that red heart emoji,
Oh, yeah?
that's only should be
To a vegetarian.
for very, very close friends and family. There are specific ones for more platonic friendships. Like I should be sending you a pink heart,
Okay.
See.
and I should definitely not have sent my dog groomer purple hearts.
Oh, why?
Well, that's a whole other thing. Apparently, apparently it is, Frank.
Oh, right.
Well, in the article I read, it also said that having a handkerchief up the sleeve was seen as an archaism.
yes, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
You'd agree with it?
I've barely heard of a handkerchief up the sleeve.
What?
I've heard of one
what
in
they
a
were
You'll
pocket.
be telling me next you don't carry your cigarettes and your lighter in your T-shirt sleeve. I don't do that. Obviously, I don't have what they're called,
The bicep.
the biceps
guns.
for it. Whereas,
Oh yes, this was a sort of a list of things that what is it? Pierre's generation? Did you
Millennial.
say? Yeah, are you millennial?
I'm a young millennial.
Okay, things that they felt were dated.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
well, it included several emoji things and reinterpreted, and then things like that,
Yeah.
like, handkerchiefs and.
Handkerchief up the sleeve.
I mean,
Or in your doublet.
I always carry a handkerchief at all times. I come from a generation where all a woman had to drop to attract a man was a handkerchief.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I share this with you from 112?
Not another massive spliff.
Hi, Frank, Emily and Pierre. I thought you might like this. It isn't quite a jigsaw, but a Lego set that I haven't yet got round to attempting. It has 1998 pieces and is a rather large Rolling Stones tongue.
Oh,
I really
that
don't know where
sounds
to
good.
start. Also, it says on the box that it's only suitable for 18 years plus, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Oh, I wonder what.
Why is the tongue not...
Let the children construct a giant tongue, would you?
I love that Whitney Houston song.
Yeah.
Well, maybe go back, Frank, to the farmer. So I
Yes.
hear he wants a wife.
Who? Chris Actor.
Is he called Actor?
Well, it's ACHTER. I'm guessing you say actor.
Oh, okay.
An actor prepares is what he says when he's putting his fertiliser down.
Are you on the side of the... You're on the side of the purchaser, not the farmer.
I am.
I
If I said, are you okay then to deliver the flax, which is what the base of the letter
But you
said.
wouldn't, because it's not the 13th century.
No, I didn't even know. I had to look up what flax was, to be honest.
You do have handkerchiefs up your sleeve, to be fair.
I do.
You could be
Linen,
purchasing flax at
linen
market.
made by flax. Yes, and if I said, is everything okay for the flax delivery, and I got a thumbs up emoji, as far as I'm concerned, it's happening.
I agree.
Really?
And so that's what the justice thought as well.
Just...
That's what they called it.
Nice cat.
The long arm of the law gave a thumbs up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that like some Marvel franchise?
It's
Just a courtroom in Canada.
so you said you wanted to go back to it?
No, well, no. I was interested that was where you'd come down on the side of it, which
Yeah.
makes so that suggests if you were to send a thumbs up emoji to me, that would be you would be contractually obliged to follow through on that.
If you said to me, will you marry me, in a text, and I sent back a thumbs up emoji,
I would
I
split
think-
up with you immediately.
no, I think that would,
That would be legally binding.
yeah, it used to be a thing.
Could I sue you for emotional distress then if you
Well,
didn't follow through?
When I was a child, there's a thing called breach of promise. Where you could, if you said you were going to marry someone and then you didn't, they could take legal action against
Yeah.
you. You listening to this out there? I remember a friend of mine getting engaged. And then he said to me, I saw him a couple of weeks later, I won't say her name, but he said she started going on now about getting married and stuff.
She said, shake it like a Polaroid teacher.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, well, that's because you're engaged. He said, no, but I thought that the way I was thinking, that was the destination. That wasn't like a stop-off point to marriage.
I want to be permanently
I
engaged.
said, maybe you should have made that point at the beginning. And he was genuinely, he said, no, I've never mentioned marriage. I just said, let's get engaged.
Well, that's how they trick you.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my spine again. Are we sort of, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking in a like we're in space.
Do you? What do you think? We sound odd?
I think we're just talking rubbish, aren't we?
Oh, that's all right.
General.
Maybe it's just me.
Look, I think it was fine until you started giving us sort of a critique.
Sorry, everyone.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is a nice reader for you boys. Gareth Crossman, read Doomsday Book. It was completed in 1086, not 1067.
I know, but you know what? You get my gist, is what I'm saying. But thanks, I appreciate that.
Unfortunately for both of us as comedians and fact lovers, sometimes facts are speed bumps on the comedy highway.
They are, it's true.
That's so
But
true.
if I'd have known when it was finished, I would have given the correct date. I just knew it was after 1066, and I wanted to give the Normans the benefit of the doubt
That's very
that they
kind
turned
of
it round pretty quickly.
Yeah.
you. Very kind of you after that terrible Bayer tapestry thing.
By the way, do watch when this show is over, and not a second before. Do put on England's World Cup team playing Haiti, I think, today. Haiti.
Haiti.
I like Haiti better. But, you know, let's call the whole thing Small Island. And, yeah. And I believe that the official song for the Women's World Cup is "Sorry, I'm a lady. Sorry, I'm a lady." It might not be.
Directed at some of the more toxic football fans.
Exactly, yeah. But really ironic. "Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm a lady, and we won a
I
big
think,
trophy and you didn't."
Women should have sung that when they came onto the Nevermind the Buzzcocks set. As soon as they sat down, they just sing "Sorry, I'm a lady."
Why did they get...
Oh, that was quite notorious. Did you not know?
was it? It was a
wasn't
few...
good. Or any
panel.
panel show, really, back then. Frank.
Yeah. Not mine.
Not yours. Not yours, I have to say. While we're talking about the handkerchief,
Up
Oh,
the
yes.
sleeve.
that is a bit old school.
It's a bit
Definitely.
magician.
That is a ladies' thing, I think. I always have a handkerchief in a pocket. My mum always had a handkerchief up her sleeve. And I don't mean that metaphorically, that she could just pull one out at any time. It's a shame the handkerchief has gone, because if you think
So that
about
means you're
it...
past it, handkerchief.
Yeah, but a handkerchief is going to save the planet, isn't it? More than paper tissues that you just use and then throw away.
Very possibly.
Carrying cash also past it.
Yeah. Post-COVID especially.
Yeah, oh, that's gone now,
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
It's not that I think it's past it. I just think I always do think suspicious character. I saw a man once in a top people's store, as some would call it, Harrods, and he was buying a pair of very expensive designer shoes. I think they were Louboutins. And he was peeling off these notes, 10,
Yeah.
£20 notes.
Yeah.
And I thought, someone definitely suffered a lot of discomfort for you to get that money.
Oh, my goodness.
Something bad happened to
I
somebody.
know, but we all make these rash judgments. Whenever I see a really muscular man, in a tight T-shirt, really worked out, I always think dangerous loner. But it can't always be true, can it?
Sometimes they're just
Yes,
CrossFit enthusiasts.
Yes, sometimes. But I think we all know that I'm a sort of 8 out of 10 with that guess. Anyway, we move to the end of the show. It's been difficult for me because I'm going to a wedding after. And
Are we going to be honest about what's happened behind
my
the scenes?
headphones put a really dirty mark on the collar of my white shirt that I'm wearing for the wedding. And so in every break, Emily Dean has been scrubbing away at my collar with tremendous
Gusto.
gusto.
And
yes.
success.
Well, I wish you'd seen how bad it was before.
It was bad.
As my plastic surgeon said to me.
Yes. So,
Then you'd be appreciative.
the producer Sarah had adjusted my collar when I got in, smartened me up a bit. I'd accused her of having dirty fingers.
He said he
Like
did.
a mechanic.
And then, because she wears black all the time, and
Well,
I
she
just
said
thought
girls are
that's
goth friends now.
that's because of her filthy fingernail.
You've got a
No,
gothel on my collar.
So I blamed her. It's been awful. And now I'm going to a wedding with a dirty collar. I mean, people talk of first world problems, but really, at a wedding, you don't want to look like you don't care.
Do you know what? I like to think I've upgraded you from filthy to grubby.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
my
many
dream.
ways.
It's important to have an ambition. Well, look, so that, and if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.